shamanic journeying, the actual process, is very similar to astral travel, truly navigating these other realms. We refer to it as the non-ordinary reality. Instead of just kind of wandering on the other side, this is a certain ceremony and ritual you do to enter and exit and do it safely that has been used for thousands of years. When you involve your spirit guides, those are the masters on the other side. Of course, you would want them to take you to exactly the right place to receive the exact right thing that you need for this healing instead of wandering and ending up in a ship somewhere. Who knows?
We're going to be doing a real shamanic journey. So the way that I feel very different. I feel very shifted.
Ultra minds, ultra minds, ultra minds, ultra JK, ultra. Ultra minds, ultra minds, ultra minds, ultra JK, ultra.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Ultra Minds with JK Ultra. Today, we have a very unique episode that we're going to be doing. We are here with my best friend, Chelsea Maker, who is multi-talented at many things. Shaman, musician, artist, performer, all the things, creator of many, many things. But today, what we're going to be doing is actually we're going to be doing a real shamanic journey. So the way that we'll do that is we'll kind of start with a little intake about what we're going to be working on today. And then we're going to pause, do the journey, which can be done distance.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to come back and talk about live what we experienced. So there will be no filtering. It's going to be very raw, honest, whatever comes up. I'm going to share it, going to say it publicly. And so this will be an interesting experience because the last time we did it, we did share on the last podcast we did together, but it wasn't in the moment. It was months later. Right. And it was also a dark time for me. Mm-hmm. So this will be nice to be able to experience a journey in a different state. So welcome, and please explain to us kind of what is a shamanic journey, and also like what do we do before we go do it?
Wonderful. Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me, Jen. A shamanic journey is going to meet your spirit guides to retain and receive and retrieve the 3 R's here. Insight from your guides that is going to help you in your life, in your day-to-day life, how to shift, expand, whatever your intention is, heal. But every person has a spirit team on the other side of the veil, or the non-ordinary reality, as we call it in Astral Work. This is where you have unending help by the highest level professionals on the other side that can only assist you if you use your free will to say, I'm open to receiving this from you. So that's what we're going to do today. We will be traveling the realms and seeing the lower world, the middle world, and the upper world, and interacting with beings in each one of those and receiving healing and insight, which I'm really excited. And did you have anything specific that you wanted to go in and receive for? Is there a collective goal? Maybe you want to bring back some information for your followers, or what's your intention?
So I think I'm going in with a few intentions. So first, obviously, we're doing this publicly to share. So one, I do want guidance on kind of the work that I'm doing in this form, in this fashion of, being some type of guide for other people. And then also, the message for the people that are coming here and tuning in and hearing this and, may at times see me as a guide for them. And so guidance, both on that. Also, I'm thinking about like one area of my life that I'm trying to work on is really, I have a lot of abundance in like every area, really, except for the traditional definition of abundance, which is the financial prosperity, and really like, how do I and again, those messages could be for anybody. It could be the same answer for other people. It could be partly for me, and probably other people need that message as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, then I would say in my personal life, I'm a little bit like old wounds are like kind of haunting me. Like old wounds are haunting me. As you know, everything is great. My husband's amazing. Like everything is going so well. But my old wounds like come back so heavily, which these are all like being cheated on, betrayed, jealousy, all of these like different things that have played out in my past relationships. I'll feel totally fine. And then in the middle of the night, 1 a.m., be awoken, struck by the fear of like, it's going to happen again. You're going to be betrayed again. Everything, the rug's going to get pulled out under your feet. The other shoe's going to drop. You're going to be fucked. You should have never believed in this. You should have never. And then I have anxiety about it. And it's like my logical mind is like, there's nothing. Like, this is not an issue. But my body feels like you're going to be betrayed again. You're going to be hurt again. Everything bad is going to happen to you again. So that's something that I would like to fully release because it's terrible. It feels terrible, especially when it's like very not based in reality. And then also, I just don't even want that energy in the home, in the relationship.
Yes, it's just taking up too much space. Interesting, because it sounds like that last wound is more in the body than in the mind.
Right,
That
because
your
my mind
body,
is not
I mean,
worried.
you're around him all the time. You have all the, no, I think it is the body keeps the score. There's something replaying in the body, and we'll probably retrieve some sort of somatic tool. I'm assuming for you.
Right.
So that will be interesting. So it looks like we have 3 pretty good intentions. It says guidance for what you're doing and how you should guide, how to get in a deeper prosperity alignment for you and others that is actually monetary, not just abundance of other things, and how do we heal these old wounds that are plaguing you that are actually trapped in the body. I'd love to see where we're going with this. Do you want to pull a card before we leave?
Yeah, please. Let's do it.
Okay.
Whatever you feel, whatever deck.
Well, I love my Thoth deck. I'm so excited. And I know you just had the most awesome podcast with Joe,
which actually is coming out this Thursday.
Oh, I'm so excited for that. I can't wait to watch.
Joe Monteleone, who is an expert tarot reader, teacher. That's his workbook. He's so good. And honestly, we were originally going to talk about the deck. We did a couple questions about the deck, and then it went full blown into like consciousness, oneness, mysticism, great teachings. And it was just so good. So also everybody who's watching this in place of the Tuesday Night Live this week, watch on Thursday. That is a really good one.
Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait. I'm also excited to see whatever insight we get from this.
I know. I'm very excited for today.
And also, something I want to talk about is shamanic journeying. The actual process is very similar to astral travel. So you're truly navigating these other realms. And like I said before, it's we refer to it as the non-ordinary reality. But instead of just kind of wandering on the other side, this is a very set I don't want to call them rules, but it is an initiation of a certain ceremony and ritual you do to enter and exit the same way every time that has been used for thousands of years to retrieve information and come back and do it safely. And like I said, when you involve your spirit guides, those are the masters on the other side. Of course, you would want them to take you to exactly the right place to receive the exact right thing that you need for this healing instead of wandering and ending up in a ship somewhere. Who knows? So, okay, we are shuffled. Are you ready?
The
Sun.
Oh,
Very nice. Hope. A new beginning. Okay, let's see. The Lovers. Wow, big cards for you today.
Mm.
Some sort of union, a new understanding of how that is being orchestrated. And that these are like the outcome is very jovial. And the
Mm.
Hermit, ooh,
Mm.
going inside, sitting with that inner self and figuring out what's going on where through the shadow, right? But
Mhm.
illuminating what needs to be seen for this transformation.
Wow.
Huge
All
cards.
major arcana.
Well, and Joe says something about this is these are shifts in consciousness. When you pull major arcana, these are actually your consciousness is going through a true new lens
Mm.
you're getting instead of a person maybe interacting or a situation. So this is really good, Jen. Really beautiful. Let's see how this influences the journey as well. But are you ready?
Yes. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pause the recording, get comfortable. We're both gonna get into meditative trance states,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're gonna come back and debrief with straight onto the recording. So everything that comes up is gonna be here.
Yes. And I'm also going to have you do a little breath work. So go ahead and pause this. We'll get into the trance state and then I'll see you guys on the other
Like
side.
this.
Well, welcome back, everyone. From the other side, Jen, what an interesting journey we just had.
Mhm.
Before I begin, actually, because I wrote everything down, what did you see anything? And then I'll kind of come in.
Okay. Sounds good. So I feel very different. I feel very shifted physically. I feel a little bit exhausted, but relaxed at the same time. Um, right when it first started, um, I saw myself like out through my own eyes, like on kind of like very wet dirt. And like there was like this woman, uh, and she was like looking over at me and started burying me
Mm-hmm.
alive, started throwing all of the dirt. I started to see the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
And then and that was like right when we first started. And then I saw little sprouts come out of the dirt, and then me outside of the dirt, and basically like, like the old me, the old body, all of it it's gone. It's dead. And then um I look back at it because now I'm outside of a different version of myself. I look outside, and this was a lot of it was connected to the last part, to the personal stuff, was mostly all the guidance that I got was in that area. I didn't get that much on the other 2 topics. And so basically I look back and it's like all like exes and people that I've dated like at my funeral around where I just got buried. And then um there's a Grim Reaper there, but it's my husband taking down the Grim Reaper thing, and he takes me away from this funeral. And then, and it was very like intense. It felt very intense, all of it. And then I feel like this ball in my throat, and it's an apple. It's taken out. And then the apple, then it's us as Adam and Eve with the apple. And then I thought about the Lover's card came out right in the beginning. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, like it's Lover's card like imagery. And then there was a snake. And then I'm like following the snake. Then I got kind of the message like, okay, just rest now.
Mm.
And it's like, didn't give me any more visuals. Then it was like, okay, just rest. And I saw darkness. And then I heard the whisper and was like, well, wasn't that like a fun ride? Like, a crazy experience. And I look and it's like this guy in a kind of like a guy in like a robe, monk type of, I don't know, druid type of thing. And then it's my most recent ex and he's like, well, wasn't that like a crazy ride, a crazy experience? And he was like, thank you for that. And you know him and you know how like hyper he was. So he like gets super hyper and he's like, wasn't that like so much fun? Like we get to like experience this. And then I look over and there's like another ex and he's like, wasn't that so much fun? Thank you for that experience. And all of these experiences are like both good and bad, and especially the bad stuff of like then like another ex and then another ex, and they're all like, wow, like thanks for letting me experience like that part of myself of being like horrible. Like thank you for letting me experience being horrible. Like that was so much fun. I can't believe we got to do that. And then again, it kind of told me like, okay, now rest. And then it was like not really much imagery. And then I felt a lot of body stuff. Honestly, the first thing when we first started with the breath work, I felt myself almost like peeling open from, so it was like peeling open. That was like the first, before any of the imagery, when we were still doing like the breath work. And then I felt some stuff happening in the body, different things happening in the body, like energy type of shifts and clearing. And then I kind of was like, okay, well, like, what about the other stuff? Like, what about the other topics and the other things? And then I got the message that it was like, well, this is also coming from like a lot of the same root that is like, and it was like also, said about my husband was like, he loves you so much and you're not even able to like feel all of his love. Like you literally cannot even feel it. And then it was like, you can't feel all the love that is for you. Like that's why it's coming out in your work and your abundance and your other things. You're not even like able to fully feel it. Like it was saying that like my mind sucks it all away, like from the body, from being able to feel it. Like the mind is sucking all of it away. And then it was kind of like, okay, like now rest again. And then it was kind of then just like, so during those rest periods, I would just feel like very exhausted with no imagery.
I saw that actually.
And then there was at one point coming towards the end, same thing too, when you were guiding me through the breath work of like the crown and the roots, there was something light going into, there was like trying to go into the stomach at that point when you were guiding me through the crown and the root. There was like a root wanting to go into the stomach. And then that came back at the end and was like, with the stomach. And then I don't know exactly what it was with the stomach, but then it was kind of like, I felt like I had to say like yes to something, but I don't know what, like I had to agree to some like releasing through the stomach. Oh, and it was saying too that like it's like the hungry stomach of like my childhood, like this like wound of like hungry stomach is like the willpower, the solar plexus is part of the root of like the lack of financial stuff and things. It was like a child's hungry stomach, and it's like pulling that out. And I think that's pretty much most of, at least what I recall.
Wow. Beautiful. Similar themes. So, okay, I'm going to read you what I have here. Upon entering these into your power spot, we were floating on some sort of force field cloud. It was giving chariots of the gods, like we're coming in, descending onto a city. And I was asking your spirit guide, I was like, where are we going? And they said, oh, this is her power spot. I said, what? It's a city. They said, yeah, she built a city in here. I said, okay. And it was very luminous and radiant and shimmering in like indigo hues. And it was basically like telling me these are all the centers she's built inside of herself. And I said, wow, this is really cool. We were greeted by a being named Tata. It was so hallucinogenic looking. Also, there were definitely ayahuasca vines around the city. This being, the best way I could describe it is, you know how you see those crazy underwater fish that are like deep underneath the ocean that are like luminous and you could see their bones inside, but you could also see through them and they're light. It was kind of like that, very psychedelic. And she was telling me, I asked her, I said, what is the guidance for Jenn, how she needs to guide others and all these things? And they said that this was crazy. They said that your voice is activating dormant DNA strands in people. That this is your purpose. You are quite literally sending a transmission that's turning on the new human, the new consciousness of the human race, basically. That there are others that are doing the work that you're doing as well, but it is specifically to encode others' awareness. So I was like, oh, okay. And it was showing me inside of a DNA strand, inside of the spiral, going to specific areas that are turned on. What else? Yeah, so through whatever guidance comes through you is activating these centers, and they said she'll know because it moves her. Whatever kind of information that literally moves you, that's what you need to then reciprocate out. However, yeah, you're going to teach people how to navigate their consciousness with greater precision. And the bigger picture, when we zoomed out, they said what she doesn't see yet is that she's going to lead people who were deeply wounded in the same regard that she was. But she's going to shift the heart of these people into love and partnerships that can withstand where they are now. And that this is a destiny role that will unfold over time. Basically, that you're not to the point where you could teach all of that yet because you haven't experienced that entire encapsulation, but that is kind of where you're going. And that specifically it's going to transmute how people think about partners, like, oh, did I miss my window? Oh, am I only going to have this come up? Will I be alone forever? So on and so forth. Like, that's very much a major phase in your service path.
Well, it's crazy because in the beginning, when that woman was putting the dirt over me, burying me, she did say something. I don't remember exactly what her words were as she was burying me, but it was something along the lines of like, that my pain is like everybody's pain. And that like, this is kind of through me kind of burying it, this is happening for other people too.
Yes. That basically they're also showing me like you are very much connected to other people, and not in the way that we typically think, kind of like social media or parasocial relationship. No, people are genuinely fragmented off of you that are experiencing similar things, but they're looking to you to heal it because it's going to come through whatever fragment into their life, and that's going to heal, almost like a family constellation, Let's see.
And what's crazy, my sister, as we're recording this, is doing a family constellations event right now as we're recording this.
Weird. Cool. Hell yeah. It's very similar. Very similar to what you're supposed to be doing. And a way to kind of look at what you're doing. Next, a bird-headed aviatory being, I don't know, had a head of a bird, body of kind of a human, very blue. He came in and I asked him, he said he's here to work with the prosperity and alignment. Then he took me to the meridians in your hands. And he showed me your middle finger meridian that went all the way to the heart, and then this pinky finger. He said, these are the channels that need to be looked at in the body that are blocking the true prosperity. I don't know what those are. I'd love to look them up. And in a second, after we do that, I'm pretty sure your pinky is your heart.
I got a sharp pain in my hand, Doring.
Whoa.
I literally did.
Wow. Oh my God, this is so crazy. Okay. So there's meridians in your hands that need to be the channels through the middle and the pinky fingers into the heart. These pathways hold the keys to the prosperity resistance, right? And that the real thing was you need to value what you're actually doing. Your transmissions to restructure humans DNA and doing all these things is major work, and that you don't see the value of what you're doing for people. The more you do charge for things, say, actually, I know this is potent, so they said creating a paywall is actually strengthening the prosperity, which makes sense, right? But at the same time, it's saying that you don't need to prove your value anymore. And that was kind of where it was stuck. Like, oh, I have all this information. Do you see the value in what I'm doing? And it's saying, yeah, your value has been proven time and time again. And now what's being asked of you is for you to place value within this stuff because you're going above and beyond. And people, when they do pay for it, whatever you want to charge, there is some weird switch that also is happening when they do that. It's not just an energetic exchange as it once was. It is, this is going to change my life. Therefore, I need to pay for this. Let's see. That, and being paid for these things is not greed. It's an initiation contract. And if you're not charging for these things, these people can't get the initiation that they need from you. If that makes sense. Yeah. And those who choose to invest in you are consciously choosing to invest in their own consciousness upgrade. Then we were taken to some celestial waters. And they said she's going to undergo a purification, an energetic sealing. So they kind of put you in, it almost looked like an ocean of stars, kind of. Oh my God, kind of similar. Remember we did the cards last night? It was like that. So they put you in here, and it was kind of mimicking the void a little bit too. Anyways, they put you in here. Afterwards, they took you into some sort of device that vacuum sealed your energy onto your being, which I was like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? And they said, these bits can't come off, and they put you in an egg. They said, this is going to remain in the egg. It's quite literally vacuum sealed to her. So to me, it's like maybe ideas or bits of consciousness that you need to remain in that viewpoint or vantage point that can't shift in this rebirth that you're currently going in. And that's what they were showing me in this egg, that you're truly going through a transformation and that this is incubating the new version of yourself that's going to emerge like that sun, that sun card, that this will be very luminous, radiant, and sovereign. Then after that, we went into the heart and we were removing things from the old wounds, but they were showing me your heart. There were a bunch of thorns in there, and they said, she put them in here. I said, what? They said, yeah, she put them in here. They're self-inflicted pain and outdated emotional stories that she's clinging to because it's familiar. I said, oh. And they said, because she is healing the heart center, how do I say this? Because you and your husband's relationship is so loving and healing, that it's removed these old pain stories that you used to carry around that are very familiar, that are kind of part of your old identity a little bit, and that this does not serve you on your new timeline, that basically that version of yourself is dead. And so when you said, I saw a funeral of myself, I was like, yeah. They said, that is no longer. This doesn't make sense in her reality anymore. And she needs to genuinely let go of these stories. And you had resistance to letting go of that. You almost didn't want it to be taken out, but they convinced you. You said, okay. They basically kind of punched a hole in the heart, like took it out completely, removed it, and then put this plasma energy light into it. And I said, okay, what's that doing? They said, that's repairing everything and recoding everything. And she needs to trust that this is done.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, okay. They said that this does not get carried into this new opening of the shell. Let me see what else I wrote. Yeah, the liquid plasma into the heart matrix. A new story is fully emerging. All of the old ties and identities and wounds were literally just taken out completely. At the end, of course, the Mantis beings came in. They went around you and recalibrated some energy points. They were clicking, tapping little sparks of light. After they did that, this DNA spiral started coming up from the root all the way to your crown and out. So there's a lot of DNA stuff working with you, which I would love to go into. So this is coming up and out. It was all moving clockwise. Everything was spinning this way. And that you are now aligned with the frequency and embodiment of your leadership that you're moving forward with.
Mm.
As we left, after we said goodbye to everybody, a wolf came.
I saw a wolf at the end of mine.
It was just came into view, came in very obvious, and then did but it was just one. It wasn't a pack. And it was, I asked it, I said, what is this medicine? They said, she's the leader of the pack now. And she needs to know that her energy that she's wielding is very powerful and is going to tell the pack what to do. So let her be embodied in that. Then that she's a teacher, a way shower, and a conscious guardian of the tribe that she's working with. So then, let's see. And then we came back. But you quite literally went through a deep metamorphosis.
Right. So there's a couple of things too that from what you were saying were some of like quick images and stuff. The wolf I saw at the end, right before you started to do the rattle.
Mm-hmm.
And also like the egg type of thing. I saw it as more of like my aura,
Mm-hmm.
like around me. And I saw like s- s- stakes, like with like a vampire stake, like in them.
Interesting.
So it was interesting, like similar to the thorns in the heart. I saw it kind of in my auric field getting pulled out, like these like kind of like Buffy stake, you know? And one other thing that you had said, um, that was another like kind of quick fleeting thing that had come through. And I think also too, you know, with the lover's card thing too, was also kind of that embodiment of like and it's also too like, you know, the journey is ever changing. Because, like, what I saw my journey as a few years ago is different than what my journey is right now of, like, what's coming up, which is very much, like, around the relationship stuff for, like, people who are, like, very severely wounded around love and betrayal and these things.
Yes.
To then which I already, you know, have had an awareness of ever since, you know, my husband came into my life. I was like, "Oh." Like, and even other people reaching out to me of being like, "Damn, that really made me feel like it's not over for me. There is someone for me. I can trust again. I can love again." And like, that's something that I would have never even a year ago to the day, which I think it was a year ago to the day that I did the thing with Sarah Brexman Cosme that she said, "You're going to be married next year." I was like,
Yep.
I don't even know anybody. And so it is interesting because even a year ago, I couldn't have known what this part of my path would be right now.
Correct. Yeah. I agree. I mean, even now it's like, wait, what? Me getting the information, I was like, Jen, you want her to do that? Oh, okay. That's wild. No one saw that coming. No one saw that coming.
Right.
But it is something that is much bigger, that has a lot of weight, that we can't see the full scope of. Something else, while you were getting at the end the DNA spiral, they were showing this red light coming in to your auric field that you just weren't aware of yet, and there was something is going to touch you to give you an epiphany that's out of your view, that's coming in, and it's not like a laser beam. It's not going to zap you or anything, but it is a warm, undulating current of whatever information is coming in that you just weren't privy to. I think it's very interesting. I do think the whole cellular metamorphosis initiation thing is very interesting.
Right.
That's actually what's happening underneath all of the mechanisms. Is these things are creating epiphanies in the DNA that are changing the trajectory of people's lives. Because without that little piece in the DNA, they would have a completely different life, that they wouldn't be aware of all the things they will be aware of. Let's see. Yes. Auric field and cellular memory is recalibrating. We knew that. Frequency of divine leadership. Ending of karmic loops around self-worth and unhealed emotional duress. And that your prosperity will increase in direct proportion to your ability to honor your sacred value of what you do in service and maintain those clear energetic boundaries, which that's going to be interesting to
Yeah.
rewire.
Especially too, because what it was showing me is kind of like a big part of why a lot of these things kind of all come back to, similar issues, is that mind sucking it away from the body. So that's like something that I have to sit with because, it was kind of similar to how you said but it vacuum sealed me. I saw my mind vacuuming all of the
Mm.
love and support and value and appreciation away from my body, like pulling me unable to feel it because it's getting sucked into the mind, into the brain, into like thoughts. And it's not, so that's why I can't feel it. Like even too, like it was like saying like, oh, your husband loves you so much, you can't even fully feel it. Your mind is sucking it away from your body.
It makes sense. It makes sense. And unfortunately, it was just encoded that way because you have coped for so long. I feel like the way you've coped with any kind of emotional upset or anything had been to go into the mind and then, well, here's the facts, here's this, here's that, instead of actually allowing yourself to feel those things. I mean, just in 2 years, you've started having emotions and all these other things again. Not to say that you didn't have emotions, but allowing
But
these
no, to
things
be able to
to kind
deeply
of
feel, that's brand new.
no, it is. And so I do feel like this is part of that. And I do feel like most of these things are coming from this heart center. That going into the mind is shutting the heart center down. So let's look up what these freaking
Yeah,
meridians are,
please.
because
While
I'm
you're
so
looking that up,
curious.
um,
Yeah.
while you're looking that up, I'll kind of give a little bit of an intro to kind of people can do this on their own. Of course, doing it with someone like Chelsea, who is very gifted and very skilled in getting the information. Of course, that's one method, So, of course, people can do it one on one with you. That is available. But you did also just recently create your course, which is an initiation for people to be able to explore this themselves. And it really kind of borders on astral travel in the course. So using astral travel in a way that is healing, in a way that is safe, in a way that is guided, in a way that uses the principles of the shamanism. So the class is called Astral Work. And so we'll talk more about that. And,
Yes.
it's incredible because then to kind of have the tool to be able to speak and connect with your guides yourself and be able to trust it and to use those techniques. And like I said, of course, it's also so valuable to do it with someone who's super skilled in getting that information. But there's different pathways for different people. Some people want to
So
explore it themselves. Some people want to do both. Some people want to only do it with another person, or some people, prefer, there's a lot of people who like to have like I'm one of the people who like to have all the information and practice things myself and do stuff, kind of even before doing it with other people.
it's so true. It is a deep initiation. So I got into this because a shaman quite literally found me. I was asking the universe, please send me someone that knows more than I do. I'm just kind of rolling the dice. I know I can navigate these, or I know I could enter these spaces, but I don't know how to move around or what I could do here. And that's why I created this astral work program. Was a shaman's not going to walk up to you in your shop. That's a very small percentage of most people. I would love to initiate more people. I could only service so many, so to teach this knowledge that has been kept for thousands of years, on how to navigate these terrains that are basically altered states, uh, is a true tool, especially for anyone navigating this esoterics, So I think that is so cool. Thank you. Jenn also really pushed me to make this course, and I'm so grateful. She helped me so much. Okay.
And so before I actually get into the meridians, one other thing too, because you and I had talked about this once before, and it comes back to this Thoth deck and how basically, tarot and the Thoth deck, they're coming from the Golden Order of the Dawn,
Yes.
So it's basically a secret society mystery school teachings that then these tarot decks came from.
Yes.
And, when they put all of the mystery school teachings into those cards, into those imagery, and those kind of two different paths, your regular tarot and then your very initiated tarot, which like Aleister Crowley wanted to share with the world.
Yes.
That was taking all of this like wisdom of thousands of years and putting it into something that is simple that people can do themselves, which is the same type of thing that we were talking about with doing the astral work is like, there's these practices of shamanism that is in all cultures, different versions of this, and it mirrors a lot of other modalities as well that has come through from so many different things, then creating kind of a simplified, easy to digest, do it yourself at home version is similar to the Golden Dawn teachings becoming tarot and then that getting disseminated. And then also like the name astral work is like breath work.
Yes.
Like it's working in that non-physical world and practicing work in that non-physical world. So it's very similar to like the way the tarot is an initiation into exploring the self, into exploring this, this is a way of exploring yourself through astral.
Yes. Yes. And getting to know yourself, relying on yourself to retrieve guidance. A lot of people, and there's nothing wrong with going to someone who is a professional. I still do one-on-ones for people. However, what I am trying to tell people, and part of the purpose of creating this, is you have direct access to this. This is not quote unquote, special or whatever. I think everybody does have the ability to reach altered states, to see beyond the ordinary reality, and to shift themselves, meeting their own guides. A lot of people just want to meet their own spirit team. They forget that they are not alone in the universe. These are all different fractals and pieces of you who only want to help you if you allow them. So I think it's an incredible tool. And just for the people who genuinely want to know what else is out there, what is beyond what I can see or feel or whatever, past this threshold. And this is a great place to start and a great ritual or ceremony or tool to have in your tool belt because it works
And
every time.
what makes it different than astral travel is really the safeguards.
Yeah.
So can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah. It was interesting because you did the Monroe stuff. What is it called? The Gateway Experience. It's very similar, kind of to that, only it's definitely more mystical and traditional. So safeguarding, you always want a safe entry and exit point. If you're just kind of popping through the veil, you could end up in some really crazy places, right? And some places that you don't necessarily want to be at. And navigating through the realms, not people, but other beings will see you. And you want to be aware. My shaman explains astral travel as kind of going to a bus stop at 3:00 in the morning, trying to make friends. That you don't really know who or what is going to be there at 3:00 in the morning. And it's dark out. But it could be cool. But it'd be better if you had a tour guide of the city taking you to all the great places, knows where to get the best healing, the best sandwich, if you will, and it will take you to the front of the line. That's what astral work does. So it's I think it's just a really great thing to know that you're more than this physical being. I feel like it also helps a lot of artists. It's very much linked to creativity, imagination. A lot of us get caught up in, am I making all this stuff up or is this real? And I mean, Jen and I have had this conversation many times, but just because it's made up doesn't mean it's not real. Just because you've imagined it, that's like telling someone who created a song, well, you made that song up, so it's not a real song. It's like, okay, well,
Right. Exactly.
there's a
Nearly
flaw,
everything in our existence was made up.
right? A thought is made up.
Right.
So kind of getting past this,
Right.
I can't actually do this. I don't have the power to do this, or this doesn't exist. Yes, it does. It actually
And
does.
doubt is very powerful. So that's the thing too, is that,
Mm,
one thing with Monroe, they talk a lot about the same question a lot is, am I making this up? Is this real? And they basically are like, yeah, you're making it up. And yeah, it's real.
bam,
Yeah,
baby.
it's both. And then same thing with the QHHT,
Mm,
guiding people through the hypnosis. I always tell them that like the number one thing that we need to overcome today, which will be our main obstacle, is doubt. And I need you to accept that it doesn't matter today. If you want to take or leave anything in the future, take or leave anything in the future. Today, just see it as, okay, we're doing this. We're having fun. I'm going along with it. I'm saying yes. I'm allowing. If you want to later on become skeptical about the information you received, then do that later on. But if
yes.
you do that today, we're not getting any information.
Yes. This I also teach a class called Healing on the Hologram, and it's kind of a room in that I have people create in the power spot. So in this modality as well, you cannot second guess anything. You might see a picture of a frog on a picture, and your intention was, I would like to heal my lower back injury. If you start going, why the fuck did I see a frog on a picture? That's stupid. And start going throughout that, that's going to negate the entire process. You need to stay in your beta, or correct?
Your theta.
No. Your theta. Beta is the one you want to get out of. Theta state of just allowing these epiphanies to come through, allowing whatever's coming to come through, and not judging it until afterwards, because you don't know what that is hitting in your reticular activator or your in your mind's eye that may be doing the exact thing that you need.
Right.
And
Right.
you would never think that rationally, because it's not a rational thing. It
Right.
doesn't work the same on that side.
And
Um,
all of these things are working with the subconscious mind, which is going beyond the programming, going beyond the persona, going beyond all of the things. So what's happening exactly? Like, even if it is something that maybe seems kind of ridiculous, like it's interesting, me seeing that like wolf
right.
just at the end. And I'm not very connected with like the imagery of a wolf,
No.
And so like me just seeing the wolf at the end, I'm like, okay. And I kind of didn't even mention it because it was just kind of like a fleeting thing as we were coming back. And then you saying that you got the message on the other side that like, okay, well now you're the pack leader and
Right.
you need to, step into the role of that lone wolf who then is joined by all of these other people who
Yes.
are all on the same track, all on the same page, you know? Because that's the thing with the pack, they're working towards a collective
Goal.
goal.
Hmm.
It's not like a human leader.
No. And you know what? You'll be astonished of the things that you can retrieve, things that you don't even know. Let me just say that. I've seen some things that you go, how did I know this? I don't speak this language. How did I know this? I've never heard this word before or whatever. And then these things come through. And then what's even crazier is when you look them up. Like, for instance, I looked up that meridian just now. The middle finger is the heart pathway.
Mm.
I said, Oh, let's see what else it said. So it's saying that this middle finger is called the pericardium meridian, also known as the heart protector. This channel is believed to regulate emotions and protect the heart from various internal and external disturbances. Holy shit.
So even in the physical, it's like the physical heart protector that then is what we're working on, is these emotional, psychological, mental heart disruptors. Wow.
It's absolutely incredible. So it's saying also there's multiple points on this meridian line, and I'll share them with you after this. But the first one, and maybe this is something for the people that needed to come through some sort of guidance. PC9, it says the very tip of the middle finger reduces anxiety, alleviates chest pain, promotes blood circulation. So that was something that was coming up for you, which was interesting. Then the center of the palm is calming the spirit, addressing emotional issues.
That's where
and
I felt the pain, was in the center of the palm.
and clearing heat from the heart. Holy shit, Jen. Yeah, it astonishes me every time. I've been doing this for I don't know, 15 years, something like that. Every time I'm like, we really don't know nothing. We're all so connected. If we just practiced connecting, I mean, we're in different states right now and we could still do it.
Right.
Space and time works differently in the non-ordinary reality. It's wild. We're so connected. Okay, and then the last one. So that was the inner palm. That's PC8. And then inner wrist. 3 fingers down from the wrist crease. So right here. Or I don't know if you could see it. This is one of the most frequently used points on the meridian. It's known for the calming effect of the mind and its ability to relieve nausea, anxiety, and chest palpitations. This is wild. So, heart meridian, y'all, middle finger, look up some points. If you're dealing with some anxiety or emotional unrest, anything dealing with that heart center or heart chakra, that's the meridian you want to work with, of maybe clearing out some of that. I think that's all I have here. Oh, what the heck's what do you know about DNA, the 12 strands? Because this came up with Eden a while ago, right?
Right. And it's also in Marcella's book. She has an exercise around the 12-strand DNA, and it's come up a lot. And it's also in the Barbara Marciniak books and stuff too. I feel like, was I talking about it? I feel like, I don't know who I was talking about it with, whether it was on a live or whatever, but it was interesting that I was saying, like, interesting. So talked about the 12 strands, and I can't remember where I said it, but I was like, or if it was in person, then I was like, but what about these two right now, right here? Like, what about right now, right here, these two that we know of, these 2 strands that we're like still trying to figure out. And so it was funny that, like, I think we have this kind of higher version. Yeah. But then I also think, okay, we need to like work with this 2 strands that are here right now that we know of and barely know anything about. Up until like a few years ago, they were still calling stuff junk DNA. Saying that has no purpose.
Well, it seems like you activate some junk DNA.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
That's JK Ultra DNA, honey.
Well, it's interesting, that message, because that's definitely, oh yeah, that's the other thing that came up. There was like a moment during, I just had like this ayahuasca awareness. So it was interesting that you said that the city has like ayahuasca vines around
it was present, very much so, yeah.
And, it reminded me when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, the ayahuasca kind of just came in for a second, like just like the feeling, not like obviously the feeling of being on ayahuasca, but the energy of ayahuasca came in. And then when you said that, when you were saying kind of like this activating DNA, that's what Mother Aya told me in different words the first time when I was at Rhythmia, basically telling me that like part of the reason why I've been pulled to do the ayahuasca in this way, where I am meant to share about it and give all of these details, is because the things that it was going to heal in me, a lot of people are never going to do ayahuasca. And I needed to have the ayahuasca said, if I heal these things in you, you're going to tell people. And just by hearing it, they're going
Yes.
to understand themselves better. And I've had a lot of people message me about stuff like that, that like things that I mention in those videos, even too, like just things that I mentioned that are like my own struggles. People will be like, damn, like that really like spoke to where I'm at and what I needed to hear to click right now. A lot of people will say this like click. So it's interesting you said like kind of whatever, it's turning something on, because people will be like,
An
oh yeah,
initiation. Yeah. Boop.
you said that and then something clicked. Even though I've heard it a bunch of times, it hasn't clicked until right now. And it's like, everybody has their thing. This doesn't obviously mean that like, I'm the pack leader, I'm the controller of the DNA. It's like really owning the role that you play.
Yes.
And majority of the people I'm never going to know or meet or hear anything of how it ever happened. I'm never going to know.
But that's, I mean, the butterfly effect, I believe is what it's called. Like if something happens to you and you transmute it, that's transmuting out, and that's going to ripple out into the ether, that whoever is entangled with your ether is going to feel that. I mean, this came up for the ayahuasca when the first time you went. Like you were healing shit for me in the ceremony. I had my own log of what, like you were holding a part of my soul that was getting this medicine as well. So you don't know who you're kind of entangled with, who's going to receive this. And that's something else when you do these shamanic journeys, and receive guidance, insight, and healing, that does, other people will notice it down the line. It will shift someone else. Suddenly you're getting a phone call, suddenly you're getting a letter or something that you're like, oh wow, no, this really did shift in this reality. But the incubation, however, so you're in an egg right now. This is your integration. This is it coming into the body right now, holding you in this egg until it's ready to crack open, which I'm going to assume is going to be in a couple days, when you see me for my birthday.
Yes, I know. And how interesting. So this is going to come out Tuesday for the Tuesday Night Live. And then I'm going to be in LA with all my people, with all my Scorpio peeps. We're going to be celebrating your birthday. We're going to be having a good old time.
Oh, the best time. So y'all get ready. But this is an upgrade week. I can't believe that this felt, I mean, we came up with this like a day or two ago. You were like, let's do it on Sunday. Something
right before this. Yeah.
I'm telling you, my husband is leaving, going out of town. It's just going to be us in our incubation bubble to pull whatever is coming through. I'm so excited.
Yes. Okay, so tell us where to get Astral Work, where to book a session, where to follow you.
Yes, please follow me. Astral Work _ on Instagram. Astral Work on, what is the other one? TikTok. I also have a YouTube. You could also follow me on Frankincense. That's kind of more of my umbrella stuff. But yes, go to any of those. The link will be in the bio. It is a 4-week initiation course. So you will learn how to enter and exit safely, how to contact your guides, your spirit team, and how to navigate these different realms. And it is a beautiful practice and an initiation that will stay with you for the rest of your life. So please go check that out. I also do one-on-ones. I think that will also be a link in the bio. if you want to do a shamanic journeying session and kind of experience what Jenn and I just did, that is available as well. And I'm also going to start doing some public speaking and some other courses and classes that you could attend just popping in. So I'm so excited to guide y'all and come and get initiated.
And also too, on the public speaking note, we're both going to be speaking in Jersey at the Heart of Oneness conference. Because people have been asking forever, are you guys going to ever do something on the East Coast? Because all of the conferences are on the West Coast. So yeah, Jersey, March of 2026. So we'll post more information about that as it gets closer. But yeah, just putting that out there, planting the seed for you East Coasters.
Oh, I can't wait to see all y'all. It's going to be so fun. But yeah, thank you so much for having me and, inviting me to do this. This was so awesome. And what a different journey than last time. My God.
I know. Right. But of course, I still was, in my my abyss, getting buried alive.
Very different. Yeah. Slight things, but very different. Much nicer, much sweeter.
Much nicer.
Yay. But okay. I love you. Thank you.
I love you.
And I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to Ultra Minds with JK Ultra, where every Thursday we come out with a new interviewing some of the greatest minds in spirituality, consciousness, aliens, conspiracies, astrology, and so much more. And make sure you check out my Tuesday Night Live every Tuesday night, where I do a live stream and we do a Q&A and we go a deep dive into topics like the simulation theory, shadow work, spiritual bypassing, spiritual gurus turned cult leaders, aliens, my own experiences, and so much more. So make sure you subscribe, put on notifications, and if you would like to support my work, you can also become a subscriber to my Substack, which is $11 a month at jennifercarmody.substack.com. And once a month for our paid subscribers, we do a live event where we do a group hypnosis, a group meditation, or a group manifestation exercise. And thank you so much. Make sure that you subscribe, comment, do all the things, all the YouTube stuff.